Hey everyone, so today I'm back with a book review video, and it is on the book Wither. This is the first book of the Chemical Garden trilogy, and I don't have the second and third book yet, Fever and Sever, because I wanted to get the first one and see if I liked it at all, and then I'll get the books later if I thought that it was worth buying. But this book actually surprised me. I liked it a lot better than I thought because I'm really not a dystopian type of reader. I've read The Hunger Games and Maze Runner and Divergent, all those books, and this sort of love-hate relationship with dystopian novels because while I find it really interesting, I do like that. At the same time, I find it depressing and terrifying knowing that this could become our future, that life as we know it will come to an end and we're going to live under these corrupt laws that our government has set up. So it's, like I said, love-hate. But this book really did surprise me. I enjoyed it so much more than I thought. The premise of the story is that the world has been decimated due to genetic engineering. Science gone wrong, basically. Through genetic engineering, scientists were able to eliminate diseases like cancer, so humans were able to live a long and healthy life. And it seemed like it was working out at first, because this first generation of people, they were able to live their lives disease-free, and they're like 80 years old and still strong and healthy and just living their lives. And then it takes a turn. There was an error, I guess, in the genetics where all the babies that they were producing were not living healthy and long lives. All the females would only live up to the age of 20, and all the males would live up to the age of 25, and then they just die of this. I'll go ahead and give a brief character synopsis. Our protagonist is Ryan. She's an orphan. She lived in New York with her twin brother. They lost their parents because of an explosion in their lab. Their parents were scientists. So they lived in their basement where the rest of their house had to be boarded up because during the winter especially, they had orphans coming in and trying to steal food and money just because they're so desperate to survive. And nobody really had a lot of money. They were all struggling. She had to take jobs, answering phones, and her brother was doing hard labor. And like I said, nobody was living a luxurious life by any means. And then there is Cecily and Jenna, who are also kidnapped. They're her sister wives. So this rich man, Lyndon, ends up having 3 wives. The reason for that is because the society is in a desperate attempt to keep human life going, because if everyone's dying at 20 and 25, then life would be over for humans. So they're marrying off women to have babies at a really young age so they could keep the human population alive, basically. And then there's Lyndon. He's the son of a rich man who he's the one that has all the 3 wives. And then Vaughn, who is Lyndon's father, he's kind of the villain in the story. He is the puppet master, and he basically has control over his son and everything that goes on in this mansion. And then there's some servants, Gabriel, which Ryan ends up taking an interest to, and that's dangerous for both of them because Vaughn is not going to have anyone make a fool of his son. And there's some smaller characters in the story as well, but those are the main characters that you kind of really have to follow. It's an interesting situation, really, because Ryan has only known poverty since her parents died, and so she's kidnapped into this mansion where everything is just gorgeous. She can eat whatever she wants. She has someone making her dresses for her, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner served to her by servants, and they have this amazing garden. So I mean, it's everything that a person could want, but at the same time, what she wants is freedom. Her goal is to make it back to her brother and let him know that she's alive and she's okay. Because where they're from, girls were always getting kidnapped and sold off, so her brother has got to be worried sick, so her goal is to make it back to him and they take care of each other. They can't both go to sleep at night at the same time. One of them has to keep watch with a gun while the other, they're just taking shifts. So she really wants to make it back to him. So she does not want this life of luxury. She just wants to be with her twin brother. The biggest flaw about this book, I would say, is how the characters develop. It's kind of, I don't see the author's intention here, because when the sister wives first meet, they don't bond, they don't click. Jenna is just completely bitter. She has her reasons. And then Ryan is just trying to think of ways to escape, and the only person she's bonded to was Rose, the dying first wife, and Gabriel, the servant. And then Cecily is totally all for this. She is from an orphanage, and she couldn't imagine a better life, so she's all about pleasing Vaughn and her husband. So the two other wives, Ryan and Jenna, just sort of didn't get along with Cecily, I guess. She was just so young, so naive, they couldn't relate to her. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like they bonded so quickly. I mean, there was hardly any cattiness, like none. And while this is a fictional story, and it doesn't have to be realistic, I feel like relationships between characters should be somewhat realistic. Now, if you were to ever have one rich man and then 3 brides, there would be some cattiness, especially because the first wife, which is the favorite wife, gets so many more benefits than the other 2 wives. So, but there was like no jealousy there, and Jenna gets sick. They all sort of bond together, and Lyndon is the oddball. He's like just standing in the doorway while the sister wives huddle and cry together, and you know, it's just, I don't see how they went from point A, where they don't get along at all, to point B, where what affects one of them affects all of them. They share this such a tight bond, and I don't see where that came from. Another thing I didn't understand is that when the girls realize that Lyndon is not the bad guy, he's just a victim to his horrible, controlling father, they could have told him what's going on. Jenna could have explained to him. She had many opportunities to explain to him why she hates this place, and Ryan could have told him about her twin brother. I seriously doubt that he would have kept her from at least communicating with her twin brother, like giving him a call. Oh wait, they don't have phones, but written a letter or something. Like, when you have that much money, I don't believe that there's no way that you can communicate to your brother that you're still alive. And because Lyndon really believed that Ryan was from the orphanage and she trained to be the perfect bride. So, I mean, once she figured that out about him, I don't understand why she withheld that information from him, because he would have helped her, I'm sure. So, I mean, the author kind of touched on that, like they felt like they were going to punish him. He didn't deserve to know about their personal lives, but he shouldn't be punished. He's not the reason why they were there. He didn't kidnap them. He didn't kill people in that van where they were transported over. So, I mean, he's just another victim, just like them. So, I didn't understand why these wives were keeping so much information from him. I've read a lot of dystopian novels, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I always hope that I'm going to like it, but I must say, Wither is the best dystopian novel I have read. I will be purchasing Fever and Sever, the rest of the trilogy, because I want to know what happens. It left off at a really strong point. I do like the way it ended, and I'm glad that I waited on this book for so long, because now the rest of the trilogy is released, so I can just buy them. I don't have to wait a year and find out what happens to the characters. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys soon in my next video. Bye.